the virtual environment. But it's kind of a double-edged sword. The more customers are moving their stuff to a virtual environment, I have a lot of customers that are more than 50% virtualized. And when you get to that point of maturity, you're going to have more of those security controls put into the virtual environment, because that is becoming more of the customer's environment. So it's almost a requirement now that the more things you start putting into the virtual environment, the more things that's critical to the business, to the customer's environment, they have to start deploying those same type of security controls and visibility into the virtual environment. And some customers aren't at that maturity level. And then you have to consider things like monitoring and patching in the virtual environment. They're just another endpoint. Those things still need to be done. Ensuring compliance and standards are still up to par, and meeting compliance and reporting and being able to attest and show that all parts of your infrastructure and data center is meeting the standards of that company. And then there's also intercommunication and intra-communication, so VM to VM communication or VM to physical communications. These things have to be considered from a security perspective, right? So anything that crosses from the virtual to the physical, that traffic needs to be analyzed. So whether it's from a risk perspective, whether it's compliance, sensitive data, encryption, anti-malware, all these things that traverse that has to be analyzed. And the trick is, though, something that exists only in the virtual environment. So if you look at it from an attacker perspective, somebody could take advantage of an authorized connection into the virtual environment, start screwing around with what is in that virtual environment, look for a vulnerable system like a web server with a database backend that so happens to have sensitive data. It could be a production web server, or it could be just someone looking around servers that are virtualized, just looking for sensitive data in an Excel spreadsheet. So none of that stuff actually is visible to the security controls that are in the physical environment. So VM to VM security is still a concern, an issue. So if we look at Symantec's solutions, we have to do a better job of educating ourselves and our customers what else we offer besides just core things like security things or availability and backup and storage management things that are very obvious to a lot of our field SEs and specialists, right? So things like compliant endpoint management, information and identity protection, and also advisory services are applicable. So if this is just a broad view, but not all-inclusive of all the things we can offer in a secure, helping customers secure that virtual environment. So if we start off in like the security side, Symantec Endpoint Protection 12.1 just got released, right? Significant difference in performance benefits for a virtualized environment. We have several key virtualization features that Anthony's going to touch on in detail that will help reduce system utilization, I/O reduction, all the way up to like 80% system utilization and I/O reduction if they take advantage of all the different features that's in SEP 12.1. And then we have Symantec Protection version 2 that's coming out in the next 30 days. And this is going to help have that visibility and identify risk across their infrastructure and environment, whether it's physical or virtual, and talk to multiple security management environments, whether it's Symantec or third party, because it's an open framework. And this is going to also help with doing some reporting and ensuring that customers are aware of what's happening in the virtual environment, or using the same management environment for SBC v2 for both physical and virtual. And then we can extend the layers of defense into virtual with protection suite solutions, things that include like mail and web security solutions. ESX and vShield is also something that is very core to securing a virtual environment. Colin's going to go into details on how critical system protection can help secure the host server itself, the ESX server itself, and also in addition to that, securing the VMs by hardening the VMs and whether they're server or guest. But we're also working on a next generation solution, taking advantage and partnering with VMware on vShield APIs, or what they used to call VM safe APIs. So Trend has kind of been on that bandwagon, but the difference is that even if Trend offers that, the efficacy